Maryland-New York battle with serious national tournament implications. Howard on the road, going up against Suffolk. Should either team fail to win its region, both are likely to end up in direct competition for the national tournament's single at-large bid. Howard is less than 24 hours removed from a physical game against Nassau. The 8-goal loss to JUCO's #1 team means added pressure to perform well today to avoid going 0-2 on Long Island. Dragons enter with a 7-3 overall record. The Sharks lost to Nassau in their last game as well. However, it took place 2 weeks ago. Suffolk enters with a 4-2 record, but still seeking its first win against a top-tier opponent. Sharks have not defeated Howard since 2013. Suffolk has lost its last 4 meetings in the series. First quarter, Drew Good, dodging above goal line extended, feeds it to Jack Watzik. Dragons score on each of their first 2 possessions. Suffolk on offense, flag is down. Howard goalkeeper Tim Russell comes up with a leg save, and he dives on the loose ball. Ensuing extra man, Brendan Kane. Russell makes the stop, but the Sharks nab the rebound. Line takes it. Tim Russell makes the save, frustrating Suffolk shooters here in the first. Dragons man-up unit takes the field. Watzik to Jojo Montesano. High lefty release to a low location. Makes it a 3-goal Howard lead. Russell sends it in the direction of Jackson Krasny. Ball's on the ground. Krasny collects it, draws the defense, and deals out the assist to Jake Polinsky. Dragons landing haymakers early on in this pivotal bout. 5-0 lead for Howard. Krasny dodging against the long pole, takes it to the goal. Krasny puts it away. Howard has Suffolk in trouble. Extra man opportunity for the Sharks. Patrick Doyen cuts to the crease and finishes. Suffolk nets 2 unanswered, but Howard won the next face-off. Jake Griffin goes to Jeremy Sforzo, changes planes with his shot. Quick response from Howard. Sforzo would finish with 3 goals and tied for first in the nation with 58 points. Desmond Daniels, dodging, draws the slide to Brendan Kane. Jason McElroy gets out on hands. Exactly what Howard wants to see. Second quarter, strong showing thus far for Howard's defense. McElroy lands another check. 4 calls turnovers for the Dragons freshman. 5 minutes till halftime. Doyen finds line open in the middle. Suffolk's outscored Howard 4-1 over the last 10 minutes to get back in it. Suffolk outshot Howard 47-40 in the first half, but Tim Russell's dialed in. 11 first-half saves, playing at an All-American level. Third quarter, Sharks opened the second half with 2 unanswered, and they're stepping up on the defensive end as well. John Gillis comes up with the turnover. Patrick Doyen goes down the alley and places it just inside the far post. Suffolk's on a 3-0 run. We have a 1-goal game. Sharks shutting Howard out so far in the second half. Suffolk forces another turnover. Other end, Line capitalizes on the unsettled situation, sidearms it in. After being down 6-0, Suffolk has battled all the way back. Fourth quarter, tied at 9. Dragons on the extra man. Jack Watzik lures the defense in, moves it to the weak side quickly. It's Jojo Montesano! Gives Howard the lead. Line sends it to Ryan Glidden on the weak side. Russell drops down for the save. Extra man opportunity for Suffolk. Kane catches the Dragons ball watching. Excellent pass to Glidden on the crease. Man up tally for the Sharks. Jackson Krasny likes this matchup. Dodges against the short stick. Krasny with the bouncer. Scores! Howard's back in front. Suffolk's face-off specialist, Ricky Kruger, barreling down the far sideline. Dragons hesitant to stop the ball. Kruger waltzes to the crease and finishes the ball. Suffolk once again finds a way to respond. Under 6 minutes remaining. Watzik moves it to Colvin Prosser. Gets the middle of the field. Prosser! Clutch goal for the Dragons freshman. 5 minutes to play. Dragons won the face-off. Drew Good behind the goal. Good swim move. Good! Gives Howard a 2-goal lead. 2 minutes remaining. Glidden goes to line. Scores! We have a 1-goal game. Last chance for Suffolk. Extra man opportunity. 15 seconds. Glidden feeds Kane. Denied by Tim Russell. A season-high 21 saves for the Dragons freshman. Howard holds on. Dragons survive the hard-charging Suffolk comeback effort. Howard wins it 13-12. Coach, talk about just this moment that your team just went through. What are you feeling right now?
Relief. We came up to Long Island and played two very, very good teams. And to be able to leave here with a 1-1 record is satisfying. We would have liked to have yesterday's game, of course, but you know, it would have hurt a lot more to be leaving here 0-2, obviously. You know, so it was a battle. You know, our guys showed some grit and tenacity, and they had to fight back, and you know, we eked out a win.
How proud are you of just the guttiness of this win? It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Genesee comeback, but you really had to show what you were made of today. Just everybody just seemed really into it. Also, you could just see people screaming, and just the team really wanted it. So, just have I mean, good and bad parts to it. I think we got a little, you know, excited and committed some fouls that, you know, obviously didn't go our way and put us in a hole a little bit. I need to see the stats and see when, you know, we were man down, because we let up a lot of man down goals in that first half. And you know, I think the guys are young, and these types of games and the game, you know, that we had against Genesee, I think will prepare us well for hopefully the playoffs. Got to ask you about Tim Russell's performance today. Just what do you have to say about Tim's performance?
Tim was outstanding. Tim was outstanding. He was seeing the ball well today. He did a great job clearing the ball and getting that ball out of the defensive zone and finding guys upfield. You know, and he was a leader today. He was directing the D, and you know, I'm proud of him. And he kept his head for the most part. So, you know, he had a great game.
With such a young team that you had this year, with a lot of talent, just a day like today, what does this teach the team?
Hopefully to listen to coaches. You know, I think it's just going to make them stronger, and you know, mentally. You know, this wasn't so much lacrosse related, it being so tight. It was just being able to keep your head, and fortunately, you know, Drew Good had a nice take at the end with, I don't know, 4 minutes left to put us up by 2, and that was the winner, because they scored another one with 1:20 left, I believe. Suffolk did, and you know, the guys never stop believing, you know, and I think it's just something that we can build off of, you know.
How happy does it make you as a coach to see so many different players scoring clutch goals in the fourth quarter like you did today?
Well, that's huge. I mean, because we can't rely on just 2 or 3 guys, and we're so deep, and we have, you know, good sticks everywhere. You know, it's going to be hard for teams just to key on, you know, 1 or 2 guys and not, you know, suffer. Hopefully it can be kind of like a pick your poison type thing as we, you know, progress into the playoffs. You know, and some of our best players aren't getting the same amount of time as they used to because other guys are stepping up and making things happen. So, you know, another good piece of this is guys have to compete in practice and, you know, execute in practice and do what we ask them to do in practice. And if they don't, you know, they move down the depth chart, you know, so.
As playoffs approach and the game against Essex coming up next week, are there any certain areas that you're looking at targeting for improvement right now with the team? Anything in particular that you think between now and playoffs that you're really looking to own in on?
I think we got to get better clearing the ball. You know, we messed up our clear yesterday and today, and you know, it's just a couple things. It's not anything too crazy, but you know, and you know, I think we really gotta work on, you know, just following our system and not deviating from the script. So I think we're young and have a tendency to, you know, start thinking as opposed to just reacting and using our instincts, and you know, that gets us in trouble at times. You know, we just got to play. We just got to keep playing.
Tim, you had an incredible day. So many saves, first half, second half. Just how are you feeling right now?
Feeling pretty good. This is a pretty big win for us. We needed this for the playoff bid for the Final Four. Yesterday we had a tough loss to Nassau. Even though we played pretty well, we still fought. We came back out here today fighting. Let them come back a little bit, but, you know, had to make the game a little interesting. And it was just a fun game, and it was fun to be a part of, and it's always fun just to be a part of this game with this team.
So let's go back to the first half a little bit, where, you know, when Suffolk started coming on, you really had a whole bunch of saves in that first half. I believe 11's the number. So could you just sense, you know, the momentum shifting, and then how were you able to step up when the momentum it could have gotten out of hand at that moment?
It kind of goes back to yesterday as well. I didn't play my best yesterday, so I was kind of going back to the basics today. My old goalie coach when I was younger always just told me, hold, react, see it, and that's what I kind of did today. I focused on that and made sure that was in my mind all the time when I was seeing the ball, and it really helps me. It just kind of gets me in a better mood always as well, and that worked for me as well, and it saw it on the field with all the saves, I guess.
Just having such a close college game today and going back to your childhood, just take us inside this whole moment when, you know, the bullets are flying and you're out there.
I mean, I guess at the end there, the game-winning save, I mean, that's one of the greatest things ever. I mean, being on this team already, two of the greatest things have already came. I've went coast to coast this year, and I've had the game-winning save in another game, and it's just fun. I don't know. It's just a lot riding on you, and it's fun to be that guy in, like, the big moment and just come on top.
How are you approaching being a leader on defense? Even though you're a freshman, you're the goalkeeper. How are you you've really made some huge plays in big games. So how are you approaching that responsibility?
I just go at it one step at a time. There's different strokes for different folks on our team for sure. It's a community college to process, and there's some kids who are going to be a little slower than others, but you got to treat some others the way. It's always different for each player, and you got to learn to handle that. And that's really been the biggest part for me, is just understanding who to talk to, how to talk to them, and really try to not get into them, but make sure they get the point across, the message across. And it's different. It's a challenge, but it's interesting. It's fun, and it's always good to come on top of a win like this when you know, like, the hard-fought team and hard-fought battle, and it was nice.
Tim, so you had the two really kind of dramatic wins this year. You had the comeback against Genesee, and then today you survived a comeback against Suffolk. Two very good teams you had to do that against. So accomplishing that together as a team, tell us about that experience, and how do you all feel about your potential, what you may be able to do?
The potential on this team is actually crazy. Most of us are freshmen on this team, and the talent is unbelievable. It was just a little bit of a mentality loss, I guess. Like, so there's adversity comes, and then it's kind of hard for some of our players to kind of fight back at sometimes. And, you know, that kind of really goes by, like, the leadership roles, I guess, when you were talking about, like, how some of us players got to pick up others and got to figure out how to talk to players in the certain moments. But overall, the mood is really good. I mean, after this win, holding off a New York Long Island team, like, there's not a better feeling than that, honestly. And it was dirty too. It was a hard-fought game on grass. Like, it was nothing better than this, honestly. Yeah, it was fun.